Hooray! Aleister Black has returned to TV with spoopy contacts and little else. Well, that was worth keeping him off TV for God knows how fucking long. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE SmackDown, a SmackDown that certainly happened. The Fatal 4-Way was good, everything else was just kind of there. They're trying some good storytelling here, especially with Reigns and the Usos. Everything else just kind of felt like it was just treading water, and that's kind of been the, the MO for, SmackDown pretty much since the pandemic started. I mean, yes, you had the PC era and stuff like that, which wasn't very good. The Thunderdome does have the piped-in crowd noise, and don't worry, I'll get to that, but it is miles better than Raw. Raw at 3 hours is so fucking bad. 3 hours of weekly episodic wrestling television on Mondays doesn't work. Nitro figured that out, and even though WWE is getting great ad revenue, man, Raw is just so fucking in the dirt. Also, they are going back on tour in July. They may draw big crowds for SmackDown, or at least decent crowds, depending on capacity restrictions. If they go to states that are just full and wide open, like Texas and I assume Florida and a few others, well, they're going to get some pretty big crowds. For Raw, they'll be lucky to draw a third of the goddamn arena, because Raw is really shit. And Sonya announces while the champions are on stage, they're going back on tour in July. So what do you think about WWE and AEW going back on tour? It was inevitable. They got to get out of the certain venues they've been taping in for a while. AEW is going to tour a few places. WWE's been doing stuff from the Thunderdome, and it's time for a change. Hopefully everybody stays safe. Hopefully the crowd stays safe, and hopefully maybe they can make some noise, not like X-Pac. And Sonya, by the way, killing it in this GM role. She pumps up the champions, that is. Not by giving them new sneakers. That would be really weird. Like, how Cena used to pump up the whole thing. God, Cena's going to come back on the first SmackDown back in front of a live crowd. That's going to be weird. Is he going to reference the Firefly Funhouse match that he had with Bray Wyatt? God, that was so fucking atrocious. But it was such good shit, according to the Vince puppet. So Apollo talks. He's trying with this heel role. I'm too busy laughing. I'm sorry. And then Commander Aziz lied with the Nigerian nail. So here's Heyman out to Reigns' old theme. He calls them title holders, not champions, just to put Reigns on more of a pedestal while he gets head at the table. And then he leaves after talking about Roman Reigns being champion. Sonya says, okay, let's give them a round of applause. There is literally nobody there besides the champions and the commentators. Well, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. The latter of which is so goddamn bad at his job. And I'm going to continue to say that because Michael Cole is just not good. Give them a round of applause. Good stuff. But they piped in crowd noise from a Vince McMahon Sr. Show, probably in the 70s. And then Bayley shows up and basically is talking about being the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, and then calls Bianca a criminal. That must have been a Fox mandate. So Bianca's like, I'm not a criminal. I'm going to attack you. Oh, here's Shayna and Nia's superior immune system. So 3-on-1. Even though Nia's ACL is kind of like, take away one person. So it's really, actually, you know what? They pretty much limit her to not being able to do anything except injure people or herself. So it's just Shayna and Nia taking up space. And then Natty and Tamina show up, and holla, 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 6-woman tag match, which was fine. It was fine. It existed. Watching Nia in the ring is like watching 2 wadded beef slabs in a giant tube sock. Seriously, she can't fucking move. She can't do anything. It's fucking ridiculous. So anyway, Bianca hurt her knee on a dive, and then this match kept going on. And what in the name of set it off was going on with Tamina's hair? I don't fucking understand it. Melee and then clutch on Natty for the win. So that's how you build your tag team champions. To be fair, the tag team championships don't mean anything. So then we go backstage to Kayla, and suddenly Big E rises up from below Kayla. What was he doing? I don't blame him, because Kayla's beautiful, but that was not a great look. I mean, I laughed, but Big E actually probably would have gotten some appreciation out of that. But anyway, he says he's gonna be champion again. He's probably gonna be the one to beat Roman Reigns, but it ain't gonna be for a while. It ain't gonna be a SummerSlam. I guarantee you that. Roman is holding that title past SummerSlam. He's gonna hold till WrestleMania 38, and then they're probably gonna build it where Big E's gonna have a big culmination there, a big ending culmination. No, that didn't work. And we get tales from the Dark Faja, Austin Powers Faja. I don't know what in the world Aleister is saying. This is bad Samurai Jack story art. Man, thick and dying manimals, I think is what he said. He's going to call Jim Herd. He's going to call Jim Herd and bring him back, and he wants to bring the ding-dongs back. Damn you, Aleister Black. Actually, damn you, Jim Herd. So then Corbin is minus the crown, so you should see Corbin without the crown. The lesser Billie Eilish song. And it's Crown Amura and Corbin knocks cats. So right there, he's the biggest heel because cats are great. They're really goddamn great. Corbin, I will say, as far as a worker, is, good in the ring. But as far as his opinion on pets, he's a fucking idiot. So the former Bugenhagen, Rick Yeegs, he shows up and he shreds, as the kids say. I think that's what they say on the guitar. And he plays Nakamura to the ring. So that's how they're bringing him in. They're going to have him be Nakamura's lackey. Lakamura, if you will. It's like a Lakatu. So, except he throws guitars at you. What am I on about? So, I don't care about this feud. I'm sorry. I'm glad they're featuring Nakamura, and guess what? I give it until maybe SummerSlam, and they're going to stop featuring him. In fact, I think by Money in the Bank, they're going to be like, Nakamura doesn't care. We're just going to have him lose. Because why not? So, Nakamura only won via an electric guitar distraction. They are fighting over shampoo. Then Jimmy wants a chance to, go after the tag titles. Hey, Jay, join me. Join me, Jay. No, that's the wrong Darth Vader thing. So Sonya says, okay, if you can convince Jay, then you can have the Street Profits next week. Great. Don't have the Street Profits talk, and I will be fine with that match. Roman, Heyman, and Jay are here and break, and then we cut to Owens cutting a promo, and he's talking about winning the title back, being the prize fighter, claiming titles. Heyman then comes out and once, he's given the mic to acknowledge Reigns' meat. I think I heard that right, but you know what? At this point, it's kind of the same thing. I'm not wanting Reigns' title reign to end, if you will, but it's also kind of the same stuff. He goes over all the stuff Roman has done since returning, and it's been quite a bit. If they keep the interference to a minimum, and they just have Reigns eventually destroy where it's just down to a couple people, then you could have those two people, go really far in the Royal Rumble, and then you have somebody win the Royal Rumble, probably Big E, and then he faces Roman at WrestleMania. Many people have said Jey Uso should beat Roman Reigns. You people can have your opinion, but I don't agree. If Jey Uso wins the Universal Championship, shut the goddamn company down. Nothing against Jey. He just ain't believable as a single star. I'm sorry, he's not. Especially as the main champion. So anyway, they do this usual stuff. Here's Cesaro in a sling because Jimmy got called out, but no, Cesaro's music is here. He wants another shot at Hell in a Cell. And then Seth managed to attack Cesaro despite wearing a suit jacket so loud that people in space heard it. And I don't know if you know anything about colors, but you shouldn't be able to hear colors, and somehow it's so loud that it permeated through the goddamn space station. That's no jacket, no. Rollins then kept attacking Cesaro and stomped him on the ramp. And then, back from break, Cesaro's being stretchered out, and he attacks Cesaro and says, "And when are you gonna learn?" We understand the same thing happened in Atlanta, Georgia on June 24th and 25th, 2007. Moving on. So, Rude then confronts... I'm zipping through this show because a lot of it doesn't really fucking matter, in case you can't tell. Rude then says to Dominic that people like him don't belong here. Another Fox mandate. They're going to build a wall around the Thunderdome. Rude versus Dominic. This feud will never end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Dominic stole a victory. Seriously, what the fuck is commentary on? Usos go back and forth. It's not about him, it's about us. No, it's about the Usos, not us. Anyway. They, Jay's like, I gotta ask him. I owe him that much. First Live crowds should be allowed to hurl trash and chairs at Michael Cole for being so bad at his job. Don't hit him, just scare him. That's all I ask him. And then Roman says to Jay, yeah, go ahead and do this thing. I don't really care. It's about us, but fine. You want to team with your cousin? Cool. Why wouldn't Roman want, more gold in his stable? Because honestly, that Roman's basically just reflecting how Vince feels about the tag titles. To be fair, none of the tag titles really matter, even if the teams are good. And then Street Profits say stuff. I tend to tune out what they say. Sammy talks about a conspiracy against him. I'm sorry to any of my Canadian friends who are all going to kill me in the comments, but he just emphasizes it, in such a heelish way. I can't help it. And then Apollo with Commander Aziz Light, Kevin Owens, Zayn, and Big E. Fatal 4-way for the IC title. Hey, do you know in a 3-way or a 4-way, 5-way, 6-pack challenge, the champion doesn't need to be involved to lose their championship? Commentary only mentioned about 50 fucking million fucking times but god damn it, stop. People aren't, that idiotic. I mean, if they can't figure that stuff out, then Probably their children, they need to have their parents have stuff explained to them, like explain that Michael Cole is really bad at his job. So anyway, it was a mess, but it wasn't boring. It did get to where people were hitting some cool spots. Bodies everywhere. We're still in a pandemic, Michael Cole. And near falls and, big moves and near falls and some cool stuff with, Owens nailing Zayn off the ropes with like that twisting fisherman's buster. And Big E and Apollo going nuts with some moves. And then Aziz gets involved, pulling Big E out of the ring. Lita jerking Edge off the ladder. And then weird lights and smoke. Oh, God, the Street Profits are here. Nope, Aleister shows up, kicks Big E, and Apollo wins. Okay, thanks, Aleister. Thanks for coming back and doing that. Now we're getting Aleister versus Big E. This is the way to get Big E away from championship pictures and probably to build him up to beat Roman Reigns or lose to Roman Reigns at this point. I don't see how this is going to really do good for Aleister. I mean, I'm sorry. They had how long with him on the main roster? Yes, he was injured, apparently. They've had chance after chance to do something with him, and they have failed to do anything with him. He was speaking in a dark room, wanting somebody to knock, and pick a fight with him. That went fucking nowhere, and now he's just been off TV for so long. I love Aleister, but I just don't think this is going to work. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.